2 videos in one day. Who is she? She's all jacked up from getting off the Peloton. So now I want to talk about real estate teams. Like I said, I've gone on a few listing appointments lately that this has come up because clients are confused by it. I had somebody recently last week say that they called to get a market analysis done on their home. They called, Jane Doe real estate team, and Jane Doe isn't the one that showed up. So they had a preconceived notion that the team leader was the person that was going to show up since it was their name. But that's not exactly how that works. And so I said, well, we should educate people about real estate teams. So essentially, boiling it down, a team is comprised of it's centered around one highly profitable agent. A mega agent, a top producer agent, but that's basically, and the team is generally named after that person also. And it is a way for that person to make exponentially more profit in their business. So the team leader is, very successful and winds up having more business than they know what to do with. They bring in some other agents to work for them. Now, not all, but most agents on teams, a lot of brand new agents will get on teams because it is a way for them to learn, it is a way for them to train, and it is a way for them to be mentored. Not all teams are run very well or very successfully, and some new agents are kind of dragged along the way. They're thrown leads and, they're kind of thrown out to the wolves. A lot of agents on teams never interact with that team leader on a regular basis at all. So NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, does a lot of studying on this, and I love reading studies. One of their biggest problems that they're having with teams is the sharing of information. So when you interview a real estate agent, or upon the first meeting of you and an agent, the agent should go over the agency disclosure, which is a disclosure. I'm licensed in Maine and New Hampshire. We presented at the first meeting, and it basically tells you about the types of relationships you can have with a real estate agent. If you don't sign a contract with me, I still owe you some duties. I have to be fair and honest. I have to deal with any monies. I can fill out contracts. If you sign a contract with me, that changes our relationship. It's the difference between dating. I see my boyfriend's watching this right now and being married. So, without a contract, we're dating, I have to be honest and whatnot, but your information doesn't have to be kept confidential. And I do not have to put your best interests ahead of my own. You sign a contract with me, and then those fiduciary duties come into play. And it's basically putting your best interest ahead of putting your client's best interest ahead of your own. So when we get into these team structures, sometimes inadvertently we're in a disclosed dual agency situation, which is, so if I have a listing, I'm team leader Nichole with a listing, and I have a buyer agent, and I have shared information about my clients. I have a buyer agent that has a buyer interested in my listing. Inadvertently, they may hear through the grapevine some details that they probably shouldn't hear. So in team structures, it's important that the team leader and the brokers for that brokerage are very careful about that and making sure that either all of the information is shared with everybody, or confidentiality is really kept strict. I can see how that could be a slip up, because especially when you have new agents discussing deals and learning and just discussing issues that they're having, it can probably get muddy pretty quickly. So that's one of the problems that NAR is having. The other is that they don't know, like, our team members truly being supervised. A lot of the times on these big mega agent teams, these mega agents aren't interacting and supervising their buyer agents or assistants, whoever the other agents are. But the biggest problem, and what I want to talk about, is how confusing it is for the consumer. So first of all, the consumer is led to believe that they're interviewing. A big complaint that NAR is getting is that clients wind up interacting with so many different people on the team, and they're very confused. They don't know who does what. A lot of the newer agents on a team might not even know who does what. Inman just did a survey, and basically about teams, and what it came out with is the biggest problems that are seen within the teams are clients not knowing who to contact in the team. Sometimes it is a situation where the team member goes out, gets the listing or gets a buyer under agreement, and then it's just kind of passed off to the assistants and the transaction coordinators, and there's just a lot of chefs in the kitchen. Being bounced between team members and just being confused about who it is that they are supposed to be dealing with, as opposed to a single agent where you are dealing with that single agent. Talked about this already, the preconceived expectation that you are dealing with the team leader when you probably will never see them. Poor communication and lack of personalized service. So that's part of the Inman study that they did. And I just wanted to break that down just because it's coming up in my real life lately, and I've never even really given it that much thought from a consumer point of view when you're out hiring an agent. So it's important to think of what's important to you, your communication style, and how you want your property or your buyer experience to be serviced. Do you mind, going and dealing with a bunch of people who are maybe very good at their little expertise, or do you want to deal with one single agent and, have one point of contact for your whole transaction and experience? That's all I have about teams today, guys. If you have a question, feel free to send me a message. If you're watching this on Facebook, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can call me, text me. All of my information is right below. You guys have a great day.